Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the Weekly Comic Wrap. We've got a decently sized haul, so let's kick things off with Fall of the House of X #2. Where we left off, the X-Men had failed in their attempt to rescue Cyclops from his show trial in Paris, and the invasion plan was kicked off with Polaris recruiting Brew and taking Brew and his the Brood under his control at their home in Nowhere as an avenue of attack against Orcus. So the issue opens in the Orcus Bloom. Stasis and MODOK are discussing their countermeasures for the pending mutant invasion, knowing one's coming. And, Fei Long has taken upon himself to go after Iron Man. But Nowhere arrives with Polaris leading it. And Polaris basically has nowhere to start chewing on the Bloom. She bursts in with a force field around her. The Orcus agents figure, oh well, she'll have to get the blight swirl rounds ready because she'll have to lower her force field to let them in. Only it's a swarm of Brood that attack. Polaris wants to know where Stasis and Firestar are. She's unaware of Firestar's status as a double agent, after all. An Orcus shuttle is on its way back with the prisoner from Paris, Wolverine. However, they notice that one of the agents that brought Wolverine in isn't is a bit taller than the one he's claimed to be. It's Colossus. Nightcrawler's also aboard, and Logan, Nightcrawler, and Colossus deal with the Orcus operatives, and they arrive on the shuttle and have to deal with the Brood. Colossus is surprised to see the X-Men working together. Wolverine explains that they're under the control of Brew, and he trusts Brew. Nightcrawler, surprisingly, is the one that has anything that thinks it might not be the best idea, stating that they're only under control until they're not. Meanwhile, Polaris is joined by the recently arrived trio. Nightcrawler informs Polaris that Firestar was a double agent the whole time, set up by Jean, which Polaris says is the most Jean thing ever. And so, yeah, Firestar's no longer on the kill list, just Stasis. But in New York, Emma is having fun with some of the Orcus operatives. Juggernaut is working on saving Krakoa. And Rogue and Gambit are going to rescue, to basically pick up Juggernaut and Krakoa, but they have to save Manifold. So they go to where they hid Manifold, and at first he's not happy, but it seems that a cosmic entity. I don't exactly know who this particular cosmic entity is, but Manifold identifies them as, but they identify Manifold as. Oh wait, actually says Latuka from. It's not a cosmic entity. It's one of the Iraqi mutants, Latuka, from Morocco, and she calms Manifold down, and as a Sentinel attacks where the three of them are, Manifold gets them out. Stasis manages to escape the bloom as it's destroyed, taunting Wolverine as he does so. MODOK also escapes, while Mega Sentinel is about to execute Cyclops. Dr. Gregor prevents it from doing so. Apparently, what Cyclops said to her in the prison, she thinks she might have a problem with a secret part of Orcus. Explaining there's a part of the organization she's not been able to access after her husband and her brought Nimrod online. Nimrod, meanwhile, breaks out of the sap that Krakoa covered him in, and Gregor asks Cyclops what he knows about Sentinel City. And the issue ends with a quote from Gregor: "Mutants took everything from me, everything, and I've started to wonder what exactly I risked it for." That is where the issue ends. Things are looking good. I'm curious to see how this is all going to fall apart, because somehow something's going to go wrong. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Wolverine number 43, continuing the Sabretooth War. Where we left off, Sabretooth and his army of variants had attacked the greenhouse in the Arctic, killing various mutants, including Akihiro, Wolverine's son. It's Wolverine's birthday, after all. But he's also got a machine that's basically keeping Quentin Quire's brain alive, so his powers are still usable, though Sabretooth has control over how the powers are used, and it seems Laura is missing. So the issue opens with a flashback. In fact, the issue is interspersed with various flashbacks to the Team X era. Well, with Sabretooth stating that nostalgia is a hell of a drug. He's immune to every narcotic there is, except maybe nostalgia. In the present, some of the Sabretooth variants are arguing with Creed, as Pretty Boy and Cap have both been killed. And they're not exactly pleased with the fact that Sabretooth has led them to this. Laura's watching from a cage above the arena on the Sabretooth ship. But Sabretooth explains to Quentin what he's done to Quentin. Explaining that basically Quentin is dead, but Orcus was working on ways to utilize mutant powers without the mutant, using the concept of imagine a tank with Cyclops' head stuck on it. Of course, use a control mechanism so that you couldn't have Cyclops blasting your own side, while you're in a moment of rebellion. So, but Sabretooth off to take a nap, and Quentin reaches out to Oya, letting her know what's going on. Oya informs the rest of the exiles, the mutants that broke out of the pit alongside Sabretooth, who have been running around on the battleship the Maroon. and training the mutants they found at Orca's facility. But the let's see, did I give her a name? The female variant of Sabretooth goes after, takes down Laura with a gas, and rips her lower jaw off as Laura's taunting her. But her and the shape-shifting one have decided they're going to try and find Graydon Creed and use him against Sabretooth. The idea being that, yeah, with the shapeshifter explaining that Graydon is like a bomb that could go off without warning, and the other agrees, that saying that he's the planet right. And then don't stick around for when it explodes. Of course, they have to keep that between themselves. But the exiles agree that they're going to war, with Necra pointing out that she was given a killing seed by Cypher. She didn't use it previously because she was afraid of what it might do, and well, she didn't care anymore. Sabretooth's got an army, they've got a team. But Sabretooth, thinking back on the past, basically figures that, sure, you know, okay, so Wolverine, so Logan wants everyone to think he's some noble savage type thing. Then how come he ain't happy? Stating that he was happy back in the Team X days, but Quire seemingly gives Creed a bit of intel, listening Creed to decide that he needs to go on a scavenger hunt. And that is where the issue ends. Solid issue. I'll be curious to see what it is that Creed's going after. Knowing he really doesn't want Logan to suffer, so I would guess not the Muramasa Blade. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Vengeance of the Moon Knight, number 2. Where we left off, Mark Spector, Moon Knight, was dead. And yet, a new Moon Knight is active in New York with with his closest associates wondering, is it Mark? Reese thinks that perhaps it is, but just returned not right. And the last issue ended with this new Moon Knight confronting Moon Knight's former associates. So this issue begins with we've got Tigra talking to Dr. Sturman. But clarifying that when she faced this new Moon Knight, she knew it wasn't Mark, not because of his smell. She had a face full of capsaicin powder. But she goes on to state that it's because the men she loves die and don't come back. Though one of the ones she points out did come back, and seeing as how Mark was involved in the revelation that man was still alive, she should know that, but Hank Pym. Hunter's Moon tries to talk sense into the new Moon Knight, leading to the two of them fighting. But And this new moon night brings about a lightless moon. But Moon Knight wants the midnight mission, so Reese says, "Fine, take it." The midnight mission belongs to Moon Knight, so is he Moon Knight or not? And so Moon Knight goes in, and the mission turns on him. But Tiger is clearly blaming herself for Mark's death. Namely the fact that he hasn't come back. But the new Moon Knight basically tells Moon Knight's associates, keep your insane house, wear your insane costumes. He's got work to do. And if they get in his way, he'll kill all of them before disappearing. And that is where the issue ends. Interesting. I'm not sure who... I honestly have no theories as to who this new Moon Knight is. A new alter of Mark Spector's? I don't know. Eventually we'll find out. Moving on, though, to our last book for the moment, we've got Thunderbolts, number 3. Where we left off, the Thunderbolts had learned that the Red Skull's active personality is somehow based out of a bunker in Latveria. So that's where they're going to go. However, that's not where they're going just yet. The issue begins in Hong Kong. Shang-Chi goes to talk to John Walker, U.S. agent, and tells him, hey, look, yeah, the Skull's dead, but the Skull was killed, but he had a contingency plan. He, basically copies of his personality that popped up to continue with his influence, including influence within the U.S. government. But Walker and Shang-Chi have a bit of a fight. It's mainly to keep Walker distracted while Winter Soldier goes to recruit Walker's partner, American Kaiju, or rather Ethan Ziller. However, when Ziller sees Winter Soldier, apparently Red Skull's implanted a post-hypnotic suggestion, causing Ziller to kaiju out, and basically goes on a red, white, and blue Godzilla rampaging Hong Kong, while the Five Weapons Society does what they can to help the people of the city. But Shang-Chi gives Winter Soldier a means of potentially stopping American Kaiju. Basically a bracelet which allows, or which causes Winter Soldier to become a giant. And so Bucky and American Kaiju go head to head. He does manage to subdue him. And but he catches U.S. agent looking up at him, and seemingly just goes for a subdual and not killing him. They talk about it, and they talk about what's going on, and Agent opts to join the Thunderbolts, giving the teams 6 members, and leading Bucky to say that to tell Valentina spread the word that it's time to crack the skull. And that is where the issue ends. Good issue. Apparently the next issue is when they make it to get to Liberia. But good issue overall. I do have my issues with the new Thunderbolts series, mainly that it doesn't feel like a Thunderbolts book to me due to the lack of classic Thunderbolts members. But that's besides the point. Anywho, as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.